And you have to be a little more confident. You know, when you meet quality women, you have to put your best foot forward. You just can't be
He's talking about me right
Yeah,
now.
I already know. So the question was, as a high performing woman, how are you able to think of handling your job, being a high performing woman, but also being, quote unquote, what's stereotypically known as feminine, or a part of a relationship to where you can build?
It's a partnership.
Ooh,
So,
here we go.
Yeah, that's the word.
But if you come telling me, well, your half is 50%,
Yeah,
I'm be like,
I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Uncle Carlton, co-host of the Two Black Kings podcast. Xavier, what's up with you, man?
What's good? What's good, kings and queens? My name is Xavier Greer. I'm also the co-host of the Two Black Kings podcast. Thank you for joining us this week.
The Two Black Kings podcast seeks to inspire a generation to equip themselves with tools to navigate life. We will be discussing topics such as financial literacy, pop culture, and relationships from the perspective of two Black kings.
Here on the Two Black Kings podcast, we want to bring you different perspectives from some of the highest achievers within their fields. While the guests we have on the show do not reflect the ideas of the co-hosts nor the companies we work for, we believe in providing you with the knowledge, tools to take your life to the next level.
Before you do anything, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Send it out to at least 5 friends and follow us on Instagram at Two Black Kings.
All right, let's get into this week's episode.
And what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Uncle Carlton, back again with another episode of the Two Black Kings podcast. Xavier, what's good with you, bro?
Man, what is up, man? We had a weekend. I can't wait, man. I'm excited for this.
Bruh.
This is our finale. I'm excited to get into the topic, the guests that we have. And yeah, this past weekend was amazing. It was
awesome. So to summarize, if you guys didn't know, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you should, at Two Black Kings.
Right.
But if you guys didn't know, we went to Vegas for my 26th birthday, invited by my mother.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And we had a great time. We went to a couple clubs, went to Dre's, we met some wonderful women. So overall,
Wonderful women. Yeah.
it was a great weekend. We learned a lot. And Xavier, I just want to let you know your superpower is captivating an audience.
Man, I can for sure talk to a brick wall for sure.
So you want to get into the queen?
Yeah. So in honor of Women's History Month, we decided to do Queens of the Week. And so this week we actually got to see this queen in person, Issa Rae, producer, serial entrepreneur, everything. She started the show Insecure, but it was absolutely dynamic. That she was able to explain what she's going through, the imposter syndrome that she sometimes feel in, such a high position, and just, dropping nuggets. Like, she was just consistently dropping nuggets, and I was just like,
bro,
I know we really like her. So, yeah,
bro. My favorite part was that she was actually super funny up there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Issa Rae, and that's just her natural like vibe. Like, that's what she gives off. She's just effortless, like, in like her wit. So yeah, it was fun. So yeah, you want to tell the people that didn't watch the vlog what happened with the whole Issa Rae?
Okay, so let me give you a recap of what happened. So if you didn't watch the vlog, go watch that now because it's lit.
Right, please.
But if you didn't, what happened was we wanted to go introduce ourselves to Issa Rae, just chop it up with her, get a picture maybe, if that was possible. So my mom put us on the spot. She was like, are you guys going to go do it?
The whole table put us on the spot.
The whole table, for real. So they put us on the spot. They were like, are you going to go do it? And me and Xavier looked at each other and we was like, I mean, shoot, I'll do it if you do it. He said, man, I'll do it if you do it. And so none of us got up.
No, because I was not gonna do it. It was one of them feelings where it's just like, wow, there's nothing stopping me. The only person stopping me is like myself
me.
from getting up.
Right. And
But,
so like
yeah.
I don't know who got up first, but one of us got up first, and then we was like, "Oh, are you serious?"
Yeah.
And then they was just like, "Let's just go do it." And I was like, "All right, bro, let's do it."
Sin City was amazing.
PG.
Oh
You could've
yeah,
done
yeah.
PG.
But no, we had to walk across a room of 1,800 women and go to the very front and talk to all the Luminary Awards winners. And I just thought it was a little bit scary. I know that I should probably have more confidence, but at this point in my life, at 25 years old, 26 years old, I was nervous to walk across their room, and
Yeah.
I stole some confidence from Xavier, and we was able to go over there.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a lesson in itself. Just having like people that you can always have, like you can fall back on and just be like, bro, if you do it, I do it, and that's what
100%.
we need. So yeah, we're gonna go out of order today, just because of our guests. So the first thing we want to go on is the Am I Tripping? So although you may see that amazing video that Rashad edited, like from our Vegas vlog experience, probably to the 24 hours of before that, getting there to Vegas was a whole debacle. So we are now.
Wait, hold on. Before you go, Xavier, when they show y'all these videos, they never tell you about this part. It's always like rainbows and sunshines.
Yeah.
And this whole traveling stuff is not as good as it seems. But continue.
Yeah. And this goes straight into our Am I Tripping? So we are, I would consider successful 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, because Rashad just had a birthday. But we are still buying Spirit and Frontier.
Bro.
I have no shame in it, just because I feel like I've been doing it since college. So it's kind of like in the habit.
How you live.
I'm in the habit of just going Frontier, Spirit. But am I tripping for like still buying? Even though the history, everybody makes jokes about Spirit, but people still fly it. Like,
yeah, they sure do.
Bruh.
Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and say you tripping.
Oh my
because I just know Spirit is just trash.
Nah, for sure.
But I see why you're doing it. But we have to stop. We have to realize something.
Yeah, that was funny enough though. I will say my Spirit flight back, like that was one of the smoothest rides ever. I was like, wow. I was like, that was too easy. I got there and I was like, it's too easy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna slowly move away. And this is what we talked about in our credit card podcast, just about getting those points from like Delta Sky Miles or like United, so we can like have towards that. Because yeah, I can't do it anymore. I need the lounge. I need to be relaxed when I travel. So
you need to be relaxed, bro. I need to be relaxed too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness, you put the
So this is the Am I Tripping? Because my mom and her friends seem to think I'm tripping. So I'm just gonna ask you. I'm gonna
hold on. Can you pull up a picture? So people
I'll pull up a picture.
Please, yes. So people, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Anyway.
Y'all gonna be mad at me, bro. Y'all gonna be mad at me.
I hope she watched this episode. I hope she watched this episode and just like, that's what you thought of me.
Hold on. Let's see. There it goes.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I just gotta share the screen and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here we go, right? So basically, to not give y'all too much detail, we ended up walking across that room of 1,800 women and being at the Luminary table. And when we were there, Issa Rae was talking to someone. So we're just standing there. While standing there, I'm looking around the table. And me and this girl that you see on the screen locked eyes.
Here you go. Here you go.
I'm just telling you what happened, bro. So that's what happened. We locked eyes. But then I don't know. I just looked away.
By the way, people, like, this is a dynamic woman. Like, she is one of the winners. She was a very young Wall Street trader. Like, and she's super successful in like the finance industry. So
And
like,
she had just gave a speech about how she was doing this and that. She's got a movie being played after her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
So I was just like, man, I was just nervous, bro. And so we ended up walking away, but that's not even the full story. Because most of y'all would say I'm am I tripping for not talking to you. That's not the full story. We end up that night going out to Dre's. And I think if you've seen the vlog, you know what I'm talking about. But we was at like a beach party / rooftop kind of joint, and Big Sean was supposed to play. And so because Big Sean was supposed to play, I feel like it attracted pretty much everyone in Vegas.
Of course, yeah.
Or at least all the baddies, whatever that means. So when we got there, we were just vibing in the back of the club because, me and Xavier would be low key. So we was in the back of the club, kind of just vibing, trying to see who all at the party before we just go in and, start dancing. But she ends up behind me, like 3 feet behind me.
Because there's another piece I need to tell in the story. So Rashad saw this girl and he was like, wow. And even when she was announced, his whole table just looked back at this man. So it was just from the rip.
Yeah,
and this man
no
says
choice
to me, this is before we go out. He's like, yeah, bro, we gonna see her again. And I was like, Rashad, there's no way. She's probably on her way back home. There's no way we see this woman again. And he was like, bro, I just got a feeling. And I was like, okay, bro. Continue.
Yeah, bro. And so I had just got a feeling or whatever, but that doesn't mean much to anyone. But anyways, we was dancing, vibing in the club. I turned around, I see her. I'm like, there's just no way. And so I go to Xavier, who was standing right next to me anyways. I was like, bro, that's Lauren right behind us. And she was like, bro, you tripping. And look behind us. He was like, oh, that is her. And I'm like, oh, he was like, bro, you need to go talk to her. I was like, you right, bro. Let me go.
Told that man immediately. See, you need to go talk to her.
Immediately. And guess what I did not do? I did not go up and talk to her. The worst part was she walked away maybe like 30 seconds later. And then, I walked through the party, see if I could find her again. Didn't find her. And we ended up having to leave because of the flight situation and all that other stuff. Yeah, so, am I tripping for not talking to her twice?
100%. Okay. You super tripping for not talking the second time in a more like casual setting. I was like, wow. So the Kings are tripping this week.
Yeah, bro.
That's the summary of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now that we got that out the way, we can move to questions from the viewers. So I feel like this is a needed topic that we need to talk about in the news recently with Silicon Valley Bank, so SVB. So essentially, just to make a long story short, Silicon Valley Bank, operates and maneuvers as a bank, but they recently they did sell their government bonds. Government bonds is usually, it's a low return, but like very consistent return investment that banks invest in. And so usually the reason why a bank would do this is if they are short on cash and they think they need like more cash on hand. Well, what happened was they sold a large amount of government bonds equaling up to a $2 billion loss. So basically selling it at a fire sale. And what that did was it scared the users. And so another added history of SVB is they are the main bank for startup companies in Silicon Valley. So a lot of the companies that are trying to get the funding for venture capitalists or different events, they get it from Silicon Valley Bank. So we have Roku is one of their clients. So it just shows you like how big this bank actually is. And so when they saw the sale of the government bonds, instantly everybody is on alert. We're already in a recession. Like people have seen the interest rates go up, up, and up. And so we've already been hearing these things about recession. And so when this happens, it scares everybody. It scares especially the regional banks, because that tells them that, okay, this bank no longer has enough money on hand to give me my money. Right. And so there's a member, it's called the FDIC, which is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, they give a $250,000 insurance. So let's just say, Rashad, you invest with SVB and you have $1 million in there. Well, you're guaranteed to get $250,000 back. So with that being said, that scared a lot of investors to where people pretty much went there to extract, like pretty much withdraw all their money. That scared everybody. And so it got to a point where the government had to step in and save this bank and tell all the people, pretty much all the high wealthy individuals that they will eventually get bailed out. Now, getting bailed out is a whole nother podcast, but what it means to the regular everyday investor is when we are in a recession, it's important to know that cash is king. Cash is king over everything. So we are in a very capitalistic society. So if you don't know, just because you have a dollar balance in your bank doesn't mean like the money you have is yours. The bank is taking that, leveraging it. Rashad can talk more to that. And so what we're saying is with this SVB, while it is scaring a lot of people, it's important to, one, know who you're banking with, and two, what's your FDIC limit. Because if you don't know that, obviously, I mean, if you're a high-ranking individual and you're making 250, then yeah, you should be very on call. But if you're making less than that, you don't have much to worry about. But yeah, just thought I'd like educate. So Rashad, what's your opinions on the whole?
Yeah, so I've been listening about SVB and some of the other banks. Like there's a Swiss bank and Signature Bank. They also are not doing too hot right now. So I've been listening to all the podcasts on Bloomberg, and it's an interesting situation. For me, when I talk about this stuff, I feel like I go over a lot of people's heads. So I'm not even gonna say what I want to say on the podcast, but I will kind of explain what's happening in like the simplest terms I possibly can. So when people say the bank failed, people really don't know what that means. And when people talk about interest rates going up and down, they really don't know what that means either. So like Xavier said, the bank has deposits in it. But the way the bank is a profitable entity is because it invests those deposits in different securities or different assets to get that money back plus more. That's how all people at the banks are employed, because the bank has to make some type of money, and that's how the bank makes money. So because they deploy those deposits, there is a potential for there not be enough deposits left in the bank when people want to come take their money out. And that's what's called the bank failing. And so that's obviously really bad for the economy because it has different stipulations. And if one bank fails, it gives a nationwide, almost global effect, because it's like, okay, if this bank's failing, I need to take my money out of this bank because it's a similar size. And so you see a lot of people take their money out and go put it in a JP Morgan, and JP Morgan will have $3, $4, $5, $6 trillion after a while because everybody's taking it to the big banks only. And so that's another monopolizing problem that we're not going to discuss right now. So that's the main thing that's happening in this economy right now, and why there's so much hoorah going around about banks failing, because it starts nationwide panic, almost global panic. And that's what people are trying to stay away from.
Right. So, yeah. And with that, now we can move on to the book of the week. Rashad, you want to take it away?
Yes, let me take it away. So this one is a special one. So the book of the week is The Courage to Continue, written by Cheryl Bevel Orange.
Okay.
And if you guys didn't know, Miss Orange is my mother, and she's a wonderful lady who took a long time, but this book was needed because this answers a lot of the questions that I'm having being new in corporate America. And if I'm having those questions, I know thousands of other people are having those questions that are not even just my same skin color, but just similar, ambitious, want to do well in the workplace, especially in the corporate world. So I think this came at a perfect time, especially for me. But I'm going to go ahead and let my mom introduce herself, and we can get to talking about the book. I need that one on. So, Mom, first off, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you to the two Black Kings for allowing me to be on your podcast today.
Okay, excellent. I just want to start a conversation with, first off, how long did it take you to write this book and what inspired you to write it?
Well, I will say, this book, as you said, is called The Courage to Continue Navigating Your Corporate Journey.
Mhm.
And this book started about 25 years ago. As I am a first generation corporate American, I wanted to kind of give some advice to my children and mentees on how to navigate corporate America. In my opinion, if I had something like this, I'm a director in IT right now for a Fortune 500 company. But if I'd had something, I could have been so much further along because I had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. And I could be, a senior VP or running a corporation.
He's trying to make that money. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start the conversation like this too, because most of these questions stem from things that I've seen that stuff that's Xavier's seen, stuff that other people around me have seen in their corporate journeys. And a lot of times, I know you mentioned in your book that you have to take credit and basically tell people that you're taking credit. I guess that's the same thing, but you have to let people know what you did to get promoted and move throughout the corporate ladder. And so taking credit is something that I personally struggle with, because I'm mostly a let me just get it done and send it to you type of dude. Like I don't have to send an email saying this is what I did. Did this as part of the team. Like I just want the team to win. And so as long as the team wins, I'm cool. But that's kind of detrimental, because then, some people might not think you're doing anything if you're not communicating or taking credit for any work that's being done. And so how do you kind of fight that? I know we're similar. So how do you kind of fight that need of just wanting to get the work done versus needing to speak out about what you've done?
So I think the team concept is a concept that is not going away. You can't really do anything without the team. For example, if you're a developer, and I'm in IT, director of IT. So if you're a developer, you can develop the code, but you need someone to give you requirements. You need someone to test the code. And you need someone to move it to production.
Right.
And then you need end users to use it. So nothing is done by yourself.
Right.
So when you have done your portion, that's the part where you need to say, you know what? And you're not really tooting your own horn, but you are. But you need to say, you know what? I did this part, and here are some of the things that I had to overcome.
Right.
And here is the end result. So, you're really showing, how you overcome adversity. It wasn't easy. It wasn't, something that anybody could do. It took my unique expertise to get this done. But you have to have it, you have to say it in such a way that you aren't bragging. You're just giving a status. You gave me this task. I had these 3 obstacles. I overcome them in this way. And, here you are with the result that is going to meet the customer's need. So you have to find a way to share your successes so that people aren't thinking you're just sitting there doing nothing. You are adding value and you're sharing it.
Yeah. I had this past weekend, of course, we went to the Women in Power conference. So we did a lot of hearing from a lot of figures about what it means to be a woman in the corporate place. So you talk a lot about showing or taking the credit, showing the people what adversity you came over. What kind of adversity did you come over as a Black woman within the corporate world?
Oh my goodness, that's the whole length of my 26-year career.
Bruh.
I have always, or for a long time, been the only woman in the room and the only African American in the room.
Right.
And so you would think that in these days and times there are more of us there, but it's not. You all probably see that where you are, you're still the only ones in the room.
For sure.
So there are obstacles all the time. Every time you think you're doing something, it's going smoothly, you run into a roadblock, and it's like, okay, do you sit down and say, I got a roadblock, or do you work through it and at the end say, you know what, I had a roadblock, but I nailed it.
Word.
So you have to, there are always going to be roadblocks. We seem to always get the hardest projects, the ones that nobody else wants. We always get those things where we have to prove that we are worthy to be in the seats that we're in.
Bro, I'm dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I take those projects as, one, I take feedback back as a gift. Now, all the time, feedback is it's supposed to help you. Sometimes it's constructive, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But you have to take it and synthesize it and say, okay, how can I take this feedback and implement things to make me better?
Right.
But the other things you have to do is take those opportunities of the hardest projects, the projects nobody wants. You have to look at them as opportunities and say, hey, as women, we say, how can we slay this project?
This project.
Okay.
And then, you say, how can I get this done? Because nobody else could do it, so they gave it to me. So let me think outside the box. Let me look at different ways of doing things to make it happen.
Right.
And so we have to look at those obstacles as opportunities. And that changes our mindset and helps us to think about it in a different way.
So it's really about how you're thinking about stuff, huh?
It is. Our mindset is so powerful. Our mindset is so powerful. Because if we get something, we say, you know what, they always giving this to the minority. They always, we have to get over that. We might know that that's true, but we get over that and say, how can I slay this project? How can I slay this assignment and do it to the best of my ability, and then go and show out when I'm doing my presentation, or show out when I'm giving them this spreadsheet or whatever this is that they're asking for. Let me show out and have a strategy around that as well, because we often talk about we have to be twice as good as African Americans.
Right.
But, recently someone said, if you use strategy, you may not have to be twice as good. You can be just as good.
Yeah.
Your strategy allows you to show out in your presentation, in your understanding of information.
Gotcha.
You can just show out in doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that alone will take you to the next level.
That is a lot of high level game. I'm not gonna lie, I needed some time to decompress that.
Yeah, that's what I'm like dealing with my job currently. Is like I feel like I'm a very high performing individual, and it takes that much. When you're working with Big Four accounting, like that's what they require from you. I think the hard part for me is now trying to figure out what feedback that I'm taking. So when people are giving constructive feedback, what can I see as, okay, yeah, that's like an area I can work on, or, that's pretty much out of my like realm or trying to get better. So yeah, I like that. I like that part.
Well, I would say that nothing is out of your realm. So I would advise you to kind of, maybe you put it on your list of things that you can get to. But I would really keep a chart of what people are telling you. Some of it you don't necessarily need to act on at that particular time.
Right.
But some of it is so far in the future that you want to have a record of it so you can work towards it.
Right.
So that you have it when it's time, when you're ready to go to that CFO or that CMO or you know, whatever level you're trying to get to, when you get there, you be like, oh, so-and-so told me I needed to work on this. Now I need to pull this tool out of my toolkit.
Right.
Because I got a little bit of information on it and I can apply it to where I am today.
That's good.
Okay. So, Mama, I got a question for you, actually, Miss Orange. For our Gen Z, because we have a lot of millennial and Gen Z audiences, and I know they struggle with maintaining focus. I mean, we have things like Instagram, things like TikTok, and you know, our attention span has kind of shrunk because of this instant gratification phenomena. So a lot of problems they run into is they either do things too fast and make a lot of mistakes, or they just want to do everything really quickly. How do you what are some advice you would give on those individuals in kind of maintaining focus and having a longer attention span when doing work?
Well, I would say that I'm probably a different breed because I really do like to mentor and coach young people in the corporate world. And maybe part of that is because I didn't have someone that would help me along the way like I needed help.
Right.
So, but what what I have done is, for people that I have brought along the way, is I give them an opportunity. And many of them would say, you know, well, Miss Orange, your red pen is just deafening to me. Because they would give me a presentation and I would give it back and I would write in red.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here? And
oh my God, what are you thinking? That's the worst coming. Erase the whole thing.
So, you know, I would give them an opportunity to give it to me. Let me think through it and give you some ideas and figure it out. Give it back. Let you go again and bring it back.
Right.
And so if you don't have someone in corporate America that can help you through that process, you're going to have to do things early. You're going to have to, if you have a deadline of Friday, by Wednesday, you need to have a finished product. So you can put it down on Wednesday, finish it. Friday morning or Thursday afternoon, you pick it up and you say, okay, let me look at it.
Let me relook at it.
See it from a different lens or whatever, but you've had time to really think about it, let it sit.
Yeah, let it simmer.
Come back, put it, look at it again, and then, on Friday when it's due, you have gone through that process and you can send it off.
Right.
Okay.
So you might have to do that so you have time. And I would say that even with emails, because a lot of times,
actually, before you say that, Stream. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a butt in. Xavier put me on, but they put me on that ChatGPT, Mom. You gotta try it. But they write all my emails now.
I'm telling you,
my emails have been super professional, and it's like I wrote every single one of them.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. ChatGPT is
all I do is I say write email to blank so and so, and then I put in like bullet points or like just like whatever, like what the stats of the email need to say. Oh, NOI is 3 million, blah blah blah, and it just writes a perfect email for me. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, in my book, I talk about reverse mentor. So you guys have just reverse mentored me.
Word, you did talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on to the ChatGPT. Apparently, there's a 4th version out.
Okay. Well, I have written that down. So, I might be really good at emails coming up, but
100%. That's how I got it.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and put you on for sure.
Okay. Good deal. But I will say that, if you don't have chat, what is it? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
You write the email, you let it simmer. You don't have to send it. Right now in Microsoft, you can schedule when your email is sent. So you have time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So you can let it simmer and then send it off, you know, if you're ready, if you need to edit it, you can go back and edit it before it gets sent out.
100%. That's smooth. That's
okay,
actually. So I'm gonna actually have to look that up. But go ahead, Xavier.
Okay, so I had a question. This is outside of the book, so I'm about to ask you the question that we had with the Dale team, Rashad.
Oh yeah. Actually, let me preface this, please. Let me just hype you up. So this man, we were sitting at the mixer, and we're just chopping it up, chilling, and we're dancing with this one group of women that we're talking to, and then this other group from the Dale team comes and grabs us too. And they were cool, but Xavier asked a series of questions that night. And then the next day at the different mixer, he asked one question specifically, and we got into an entire 5-6 hour long conversation, which was interesting and informative and had multiple variables to it. And so I say that to say he's about to ask that same question, but it had captivated the whole audience.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, the question was, so obviously we were there. We're very high performing women within, I mean, Miss Orange is, of course, a high performing woman. And so the question was, as a high performing woman, how are you able to handle your job, kind of like the balancing of handling your job, being a high performing woman, but also being, you know, quote unquote, what's stereotypically known as feminine, or, you know, a part of a relationship to where you can build. Is it a hard balance between the two, to where you come back to your marriage and you trying to act like the big managing director, or so how does that kind of look? And when I tell you, these women love this question, like,
oh, because we're about to give some rebuttal too.
One lady brought her husband in. They started talking about the cleanup, and I was like, oh, this is
it was good. It was a great conversation.
Good.
Well, I think that that is an interesting conversation. I will say that you two young men that are professionals with master's degree and great jobs. You have to give yourselves a little bit more credit, and you have to be a little more confident in, you know, when you meet quality women, you have to put your best foot forward. You just can't be.
He's talking about me, right?
Yeah, I already know.
You can't be in the shoulda, coulda, woulda club. You have to put your best foot forward, because what do you have to lose?
I take that. I got a lot to lose.
Look, you feel me? A lot to lose.
But I would say, though, from a woman perspective, you know, having a partner that understands the woman in the workplace. Sometimes a woman might be the breadwinner, sometimes she's not. Yeah. But, you know, it doesn't matter, because it's all coming to the household. You know, if the household has a Bentley, everybody can drive.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait, just wait a moment. So if that's the case, which I agree.
Yeah.
The man doesn't always have to be the breadwinner. But would you agree that most marriages that are ending in divorce are because of that situation?
Perhaps. But I think if you can find someone that you respect, 2, that you love,
come on now,
and 3, that you can work with, you guys will eventually progress to a point where, you know, who makes the most money doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's what the modern mindset is kind of progressing to.
Yeah.
So for the kings listening to this podcast who are trying to be traditional,
let them know.
The traditional aspect won't work with the businesswoman anymore. You're gonna have to progress to this.
What do you mean by the traditional?
Like traditional in the sense of like back in the day where like the man had to be making the most money. He was like the head honcho of the house. So you had to do exactly what he said. Like that's what I'm talking about, traditional. But like because women have gotten more modern, I think men should get more modern as well, so we could still be together, not one be like on different pages. Does that make any sense?
I would add though that it's a partnership.
Ooh, so, here we go.
That's the word they use.
That's the word that they use.
It's a partnership. So, if the washing, if the clothes are dirty, you got to be as men okay putting the load in just like the woman.
Of course.
If you get home early, put a pasta bake in the oven so that dinner will be ready. I mean, it just takes two to make it work in the world today. Before, the woman might have, gone to work and she might not even work 8 hours a day. She might have worked part-time or she might not have worked at all. So she was at home all day doing laundry and what have you. But the modern woman going to work for 8, 12 hours a day, when she get home, the last thing she want to hear is what's for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, on God, that's the last thing we be wanting to hear. What are we finna cook?
I feel like
yeah, bro.
Put a pasta bake in, make a salad, something simple. Right. We don't need to eat all that stuff we eat anyway. Make it quick, simple, healthy. For the parents, for the kids, whatever, and keep it moving.
But let me ask you this: do you so you've had a very successful relationship? Is there some things that you do as a woman because you're a woman, like you're just gonna, like, let's just say for instance, you're gonna make somebody's plate or you're gonna do this? Is there something that you're just gonna do, and do you have those values still, and does it work?
So I have, well, first of all, I don't make no plates. So let's
Hold on, don't say it too loud. We got
but there are days that I know that my husband has had a hard week at work, and it's Saturday mornings. I will make him breakfast in bed because he's tired. But there are some days too where he knows that I'm tired, and he like, you know what? We're not cooking today. Let's just order some Outback and
it'd be good every time too, huh?
So, you have to have somebody that you can work with, and that's what makes it a partnership. Everything is not going to be perfect. There are going to be them days where you say, you know what? Why did I select this person as my partner?
Yeah.
But that should last for a few minutes. And then you keep it moving. Yeah. But you have to have somebody that you can work together with. And that's why it's so important that you have conversation. You talk about what they want, what they don't want, what they like, what their favorite color is, what their favorite flower is, what their favorite meal is.
She's cute, isn't she?
You talk about all those things. Do they like to do laundry? Do they like to wash dishes? Because maybe if they don't like to wash dishes, then their thing is cooking and your thing is washing the dishes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
So it really, everything is negotiable now, is really what you're saying. Like we could just negotiate what we like, what we don't like. Okay.
And that's what we were learning from the women that we were talking to. So they brought up that word partnership a lot. They were just like, it's a partnership. So this is by the time, she was telling us she the breadwinner, and he's sitting right there. So I'm just like, you don't want to say that? No. No, but they really
when she said that, I was like,
you know what? When you think about, there are women CEOs.
100%.
CEOs. So their spouse can't be working too, because a woman CEO managing a Fortune 500 company like a Starbucks or whatever, their partner probably does not work.
Yeah.
Most likely. And so got so many other things to do.
You have to, it has to be a balance. And that man has to say, you know what? I got the kids, I got the bills, I got to keep up of the house. Baby, you keep doing what you're doing so we can go on vacation to where we're going.
Oh, so God.
Can, our kids to go to private school. I'm going to make it easy for you. I just need you to keep doing what you're doing so the money keeps coming in. And it's really not, it's not all about money. So you have to have partnership. You have to have that relationship. But somebody's got to give and take. And it just depends on where people are. You know, if you are the man and you are the breadwinner, and you know your wife has to, you know, understand who does what in what place.
It's the who does what that's concerning.
But it's like
that's what's concerning.
And I think there's a little bit of luck within it, because you know the girl that was speaking this past weekend, she was like, "Yeah, my man know how to change a tire. Do y'all know how to change a tire?" And I was like, I can't say that I've ever had to change a tire. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So if you were looking for me, I'm out of there. But I think it also goes down to, because they said there were things within the relationship that they didn't know that they wanted. So like pumping your gas for you. Like she was like,
yeah, that type of stuff. Gas.
So I was just like, okay, so there's gonna be some give and take. So like, while you know the person, she may not know how to cook, if she's a great, you know, cleaner, or she can bring something else to the table, like it can be a conversation.
100%.
But you've got to talk to them and get to know them.
Okay, first of all, what you mean by talk to them and get to know them? Am I supposed to be paying for all those dates too?
And we were talking about the high quality women that you were talking about previously. Yeah.
We serious out here.
Cause bro, what? What? Yeah.
Well, I will say the saying is you gotta spend money to make money.
Okay. Okay, so we're looking at it as an investment.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You know what? I love that.
But I would say if you're not looking at it as an investment, I wouldn't spend my money on it. So if it's a little
Period.
Yeah,
so that tells you that. Okay, so if for those women who are like my mom, who are educated business women, if you try to be cheap with it, she gonna take that as he don't want to invest in me. So you might as well stay completely away if you're not trying to pay for the first date or do all that type of stuff. You might as well just stay completely away. But if you are, this is what you got to do.
This is what you got to do. Because I would say if I haven't been on the dating scene in a long time. But I would say if somebody I'm going out on a date with, you know, I like you enough to say yes. And I may be a little different. But if you come telling me, well, your half is 50%,
I'm like, I can't even do it. I can't even do it. So what was your first date?
You get me to the date and you tell me my half is 50%, you ain't got to worry about me texting, calling, or anything again.
Not the 50%. Yeah, so we're not going 50-50.
But you know, I will say though,
this guy stinks.
But I will say, you know, after 3 or 4 dates, you know, if I say, okay, he has potential, I think we can, you know,
I'll pay for the coffee.
Okay.
You know,
I'll pay for the coffee.
I might,
We got some. We got the coffee.
But we gotta wait 3 to 4 days.
We gotta wait 3 to 4 days.
That's $200. $200.
That's crazy.
But you know what? I'm not even going to be mad.
Gym dates.
that may be, but I will say, you know what? I will say you can go to lunch. Lunch is a cheaper date.
Yeah.
You can go to happy hour, find some really nice happy hour spot.
Okay. Yep.
And go, you know, you can do that 5:30 to 7. You know, you've been working all day. 7 o'clock, you know, on a Wednesday, it's time to go home. So you spent, you know, $25, $30 on a
this is my main problem. And it's going to be interesting to get your perspective on this, but I don't think guys, especially me and Xavier, are struggling with like where to go most of the time, because we could go to happy hour, we can go to these restaurants, but we're trying to get girls who have a good mindset, because you got to marry that mindset, and 2, girls who are not flaking all the time.
Yeah, we got to get them to show up,
because they have so many options with social media that they just get overwhelmed with those options, and guys too, but only a small percentage of guys. But a large percent of the ladies get overwhelmed with all these options. And so now we're being faced with like a whole bunch of like wishy-washiness because there's so many options on the other side.
I do feel for you young people with social media and all the different avenues that you have to meet and see people. Right. I would just say you guys were at a place where there were 1,800 women. And I would, of the 1,800,
come on.
There were probably, I know, at least 500 of them were your age category.
Yeah. Hey, this is true. So actually go into that, Mom. Let's go into this. Where are the young business-like women like yourself? Where are they hanging out in 2023? Or at least where were you hanging out where, like, when you were in this age range?
Ooh, that was a long time ago, guys.
So where do you think they're hanging out now, just from what you've experienced?
I would say I know in Dallas, there is the Young Professionals group that you can.
It's a whole group.
It's a whole group. You can probably be a part of that group. In Austin, there's probably the same.
Yeah. And there's like a real estate one.
So that is the entryway into, getting to know people. But you got to put your reach out there as far as you can get it. Now, you guys were in the place last weekend where you had the creme de la creme of young women. And, I get it that you may have another opportunity, but if you have that opportunity again, you need to have a strategy.
Oh, I need to create a strategy.
We need to go with a strategy. We went in there
blind. We did go in there blind. We just went in there. And
that's how we usually do it. Like, that's how me and Rashad usually roll. We just pull up and then
we'll just be like, we'll make it.
It wasn't like that. We were like sitting by ourselves and not talking to women. Like they wanted to come to talk to us at the end.
Well, I to be honest, and this is probably my fault, I severely underestimated what my mom was talking about when she said conference. Because we in Las Vegas, I'm like, I'm going to go for my party. The conference is going to be really secondary. But when we got there, it was at the Bellagio. I saw all these beautiful women and I saw all these connections I can make. I was like, this is going to be like the main part of my trip now. So I did no research on like what was actually going on. Yeah. And so when I got there, I started to do the research and it just had caught me off guard because I had no strategy for anything.
But did I not tell you to
She said 1,800 women. I said for sure. I know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you did tell me. It was me not listening. Or I meant to get myself in that one.
So, you have to have a strategy. You have to know, who you want to meet. And, I don't want to be, the mother that's trying to introduce you guys.
Thank you. We talked about that. We were like, we never want to get introduced by somebody's mom. Like,
but, I could have. Because I would have walked up there and say, you know what? I have these 2 young men that want to meet you. And I could have done that. And I would have, but I didn't want to do that. But,
But you saw us walk up there, though.
Yeah.
You seen us walk up there. God. We really did go up there twice. So you saw us do it. At least we went up and attempted. Because if she hadn't been rushed to the stage, I would have definitely tapped her and been like, hey, my name is, and this is Bob. Yeah, can we get a quick picture?
Yeah. But I would say you guys, both of you, are great young men.
True.
You have gone through and again gotten your master's degrees. You have great jobs. You have something to offer a young woman with quality.
This is so true.
You guys need to have the confidence to just say, you know what? What's she gonna say? I don't want to dance.
No response.
No.
But here's the thing, Mom. I get it. But I'm not afraid to talk to women at all. Yeah. It was just this situation specifically.
I would say the higher the quality of the woman, the more nervous we get for sure.
True. So maybe I am like this. Maybe I am like this.
Because had you seen Lauren and she not been like got up there on stage, she would have just been a regular woman to you.
Yeah,
you'd have been like,
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So that's what I think.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that, but you know, you both know my husband, and he says that he is the best he knows. So he gonna step to, whomever.
As he should,
bro.
So I think you have to take that same mindset. Anybody that's listening, you're the best you know. You got it going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Step out there and make it happen. You never know what will happen.
Okay. I think it's so funny when they say that. Like, it's just, just go talk to her.
Yeah. It'd be like Rihanna. You'd be like, yeah, go ahead.
But recently, one of the things I was talking about just a second ago with Gabby was at some point you just have to go and do it, and you don't have to be totally 100% confident. We mentioned this on the vlog. You don't have to be 100% confident, but it really just takes the action, because at the end of the day, I know how to hold a conversation. Xavier knows how to hold a conversation. Miss Orange knows how to hold a conversation. So any person we talk to is going to be fine, because we're just going to be holding the conversation the whole time. So it's really not that serious. But
I think I read a book on confidence, and it says the actions of confidence precede the feeling. So you're always going to do the thing first before you feel any like, I feel confident. Because a lot of people tell me, I'll go in or speak to like a room of people, and they're like, wow, you look so confident up there. Meanwhile, I'm like freaking out. My hands are sweaty. Like, so it's all about doing the actions of confidence first, and just telling yourself like, no matter what, I'm gonna do it. Like, the worst thing that's gonna happen, I'll just have to be okay with either, outcome that comes out. So
absolutely. I remember, Xavier, when you were in high school, one of the stories that Mr. Orange talks about all the time is you said, they don't see my greatness, Mr. Orange. I'm out here on the sidelines. They don't see my greatness.
Brother, this guy stinks.
So,
wow.
I want you to have that same mindset now.
Absolutely. That man. I can't believe y'all still remember that.
No, you're right. I mean, it just can't happen again. That type of stuff. I remember I was telling Xavier this the other day, but when I went to Brooks PR in high school, ran against Donovan, got smoked by 3 seconds, but was clearly in shape to run fast. I remember you came up to me and you said, why didn't you take off at 300 with Donovan? And I was like, I don't know. And then you was like, you must have been scared. And that really stuck with me. And so the very next week, instead of, thinking about if I was going to go or not at 300 meters, instead of, kind of trying to figure out where everybody was in the race, I just went without thinking about it.
Best race of your life.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was going crazy. PR by 3 seconds. Who does that? So at some point, you just have to really stop thinking about it, overthinking it, just go do it.
Yep. You guys are the cream of the crop. So
that is true. We don't get told that at all.
You see what I got on? The cream.
Very funny.
I had to.
So just know that, and just have that in the back of your mind. Mr. Orange says again, he's the best he knows. Now,
he know a lot of people too.
That.
Yeah. Well, we just want to thank you so much, Mr. Orange. Like, this has been, you dropped some nuggets.
Some nuggets.
On us and our audience, so we just appreciate you 1,000 times over. Like, yeah.
Well, I have enjoyed being here with you, young men. I commend you for the work that you're doing and helping others to understand finance, to understand corporate America, to understand life. So keep doing what you're doing. And I would just say to you, you guys are the cream of the crop. Don't ever forget that. And to your listeners, just keep moving forward and have the courage to continue through this journey of life.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a good episode.
That was